Good day to you all. Before I start my presentation, I would like to convey my gratitude to be part of the facilitative sharing of views among parties, and I would be honored to give a brief presentation concerning the BUR on behalf of my country. So my presentation outlines the following. So the first part of the presentation, national context. So under its commitment as a non-Annex 1 party of the UNFCCC, Eritrea prepared 3 national communications. An initial national communication in December 2001, second national communication in February 2012, and the third national communication in December 2021. And Eritrea also submitted its first final update report in December 2021. So the responsible and the main body for coordinating and articulating national climate action in Eritrea is the Ministry of Land, Water and Environment. And then under the ministry, the Department of Environment is responsible for coordinating and implementing climate change activities. And recently it has planned and started 1. Revising the National Determined Contribution, the NDC, 2. Technology Needs Assessment, TNA, and 3rd, the National Adaptation Plan, NAP. All documents are prepared by active involvement of key stakeholders and different ministries of agriculture, health, marine resources, energy and mines, transport and communication, trade and industry, and local government. Our current institutional arrangement for the first BUR report looks like this. So in the planned current institutional arrangement, there is sharing of responsibilities with regard to the quality control, evaluation, validation process. And the Ministry of Land, Water and Environment, as an implementing governmental institution, approves action plans, ensure the disbursement of budget, and undertake follow-ups and monitoring activities through implementation plan. The ministry also apprises funding opportunities for climate change mitigation and adaptation, and disseminates the modalities and guidelines for funding requests from partners institutions to enable them to understand the project implementation modalities. The proposed MRV system looks like this, and updating the existing institutional arrangements, the Department of Environment proposed to set the MRV system of mitigation action to coordinate and follow the implementation of the strategies and projects to achieve the goals of the NDC. Secondly, we go to the GHG inventory. The greenhouse gas inventory covers 4 sectors: the energy sector, the IPPU sector, AFLU sector, and the waste sector. So to develop the National Greenhouse Gas Inventory, the 2006 IPCC guidelines using Tier 1 methodology was applied, and the national activity data were collected using questionnaire and data survey for energy, IPPU, AFLU, and the waste sector. So based on the first final update report, aggregate overall GHG emission, excluding emission from the biomass in Eritrea in 2018, is estimated to be 3,992.20 gigagram carbon dioxide equivalent. And the sectoral GHG emission gigagram carbon dioxide equivalent of this total are: the energy, we have like 783.43. In the IPPU, we have 190.56. In the AFLU, we have 2,985.15. And in the waste sector, we have like 32.07. It also estimates the GHG emission from the multilateral operations of biomass based on the revised 2006 IPCC software. And the result of the emission were 2,404.52 gigagram carbon dioxide equivalent. Therefore, overall net GHG emission in Eritrea in 2018 is 6,396.72 gigagram carbon dioxide equivalent. Here, taking 2015 as a base year for the 2018 inventory year, all aggregate GHG emission by gas from different sectors increased. This clearly indicates that there is dire need for concerted national effort to reduce GHG emission. In 2018 inventory year, CH4 emission was studied to be the highest, and emission is mainly from enteric fermentation in the livestock subsector, and some of the energy activities also. So the CH4 and the N2O emissions came from livestock, energy activities, and solid waste disposals. The trends of the GHG emission is displayed in this PowerPoint, and the trend of the GHG emission for all sectors on base year of the third national communication inventory year is slightly increased for most sectors. And when we see the sharing of the GHG emission by sector, in 2018, the AFLO sector was the highest contributor of the GHG emission, which accounted for 74.77%, followed by the energy sector, 19.62%, as shown in the figure, and the least was the waste sector. Improvement on reporting GHGI. Taking into account the documents we have prepared from the initial national communication to the first final update, we have improved our reporting skills on GHG inventory. At this time, we have increased the number of experts trained on GHGI. We used and practiced the 2006 IPCC softwares for more accurate GHGI, and we also used disaggregated data for GHG inventory. The third part of the presentation is mitigation actions and effects. So our national context for mitigation action looks like this. So the government of Eritrea is committed to reduce the carbon dioxide emission from fossil fuels by 12.0% by 2030, compared to the projected business as usual of the reverse year 2010. If additional support is received, it can further be reduced by 38.5% by the year 2030. The core benefits of this mitigation action is environmental and socio-economical benefits. Okay, improvement in reporting mitigation action and effects. Based on the constraints and gaps encountered during the presentation of the national inventory, a list of inventory improvement plans are proposed to 1. Develop network communication with national institutions. 2. Propose to establish national domestic MRV system. 3. Strengthen the technical experts on the use of mitigation analysis of tools and models. And when we go to the fourth part of the presentation, it explains about the different mitigation actions and results to be achieved. So the total impact estimated GHG emission reduction over a given period of time of 2020 up to 2030 is 306.3 kiloton carbon dioxide. So when we use different mitigation actions like using renewable energy, we will reduce the carbon dioxide emission by a total of 113 kilotons. And if we use energy efficient actions, we will reduce the carbon dioxide emission by a total of 49.7 kilotons. And in transportation, we will reduce around 2.6 kiloton carbon dioxide, and in the AFLU or forestry, we will reduce the carbon dioxide emission by a total of 117.6 kilotons. And the different mitigation actions are displayed here, as you can see. So the other part of the mitigation, the other part of the presentation is the barriers we faced. So the team of technical experts identified 15 capacity building needs during the first final update report review process, covering GHG inventory, mitigation action, needs and supports received. So the constraints on the GHG inventory are lack of national emission factors to transform from tier 2 to tier 3, limited capacity on the estimated of CH4 and N2O emission from biomass, inappropriate national land use classification, limited capacity for knowledge management and archiving system, limited national capacity to prepare for and implement the requirement of the ETF. Constraints on mitigation action, limited capacity on mainstreaming of climate-specific mitigation actions into national development priorities and planning, limited capacity on the use of mitigation analysis tools and models, inadequate data recording system for tracking mitigation actions, and constraints on the support received and needed, limited capacity on identifying and archiving the support received and need as technical and technology transfer, and limited capacity to identify technology transfer needs, and limited technology experts for mobilizing and managing financial resources for climate change activities. So when we go to the third part is the support received and the support needed. So the support we received is, as you can see up in the PowerPoint. So as a developing country, Eritrea is vulnerable to climate change. And most of the climate change related hazards are beyond the reach and capacity of the country and requires financial support to cope up using adaptation plans. So Financial support received in mitigation, adaptation, climate change reports, and capacity building are here. And the financial support we need is displayed here too. So you can see the difference is huge. So that's how much support we need. Okay, when we go to the last presentation, we have the enhanced transparency framework transition and implementation. So one is initiating the establishment of MRV system at national level to collect data regularly and report to the Department of Environment. Technical experts train on GHG inventory of the 2006 IPCC guidelines for each category. And the third part is technical expert trained on NC, BUR, BI review, and undertaking training for BTR review. And the last part is commencement of regional CBIT projects. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.